G'day folks, welcome to this summary of playthrough from Ardennes 44 from the 23rd or 22nd to the 24th of December. This is the end of the game. It has just resulted in a German victory. The victory condition they won by was that they needed 6 victory point hexes on the west map. And I believe the west map starts around here. I don't think it includes Hotten. So if you include Hotten, they've captured 7 and Neufchâtel 8. I don't think it includes those. I think it has to be just a hex to the west of them. I think it's this vicinity here. And they've got Saint-Hubert, they've had for a while, was the first one. Marche and Famenne, Rochefort, they were both fell out at the same time. They captured Ginny very easily. Denon fell pretty quickly. And there was a huge struggle for Huy out here on the Meuse, which fell on that final turn. So over the course of these past few turns, I mean, the Germans reached the Meuse several turns ago. They captured Denon pretty quickly. They kind of using this area here. There are a lot of Americans in this central area around Rochefort and Marche and Famenne. They pushed in here, raced through this primary road, through, I think it's Chiny to Denon, captured that. There were defenders, there, which they pushed away. They briefly pushed across the Meuse, but I think I miscalculated the combat there, so I was kind of glad that they got pushed back. They did lose some formations across the Meuse when they couldn't retreat. Once they reached those bridges, they tried to push over in a few places, but failed. That should not be engaged. And so then they resolved to hold there and focus on capturing either Ardennes or Huy, which are the other two locations on the west map, victory point locations on the west map that were this side of the Meuse. So if I can zoom in, this was where a lot of the activity was in those final 3 turns. So you can see Huy there, it's on the west side of the Meuse, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 roads leading into it. You can see I've got German units on all 5 roads. That said, they were attacking this city every turn in sizable strength, but the city provides a +4 defender combat bonus for the defenders. And the Americans could quite easily, well, I shouldn't say quite easily, they were slipping these units into here and getting them in fairly easily to bolster their strength. Yes. So Americans were bolstering Huy. The Germans were just trying and hoping for success. They finally brought their artillery up in the vicinity. That really helped. Gives them 2 shifts, that artillery. And of course it's cancelled by the American artillery. And then the American air cover starts. And basically you roll, for the American air cover, you make a roll on the Jarvis table, and this tells you how many shifts they're going to be in the combat. And I can tell you that every combat was either a 1 or 2, I think. So the Americans were getting these good shifts every combat in Huy, and Germans were grinding them away, but also suffering at the same time. On the last turn, the German fuel rolls were terrible. We had 1st and 2nd SS Panzer divisions, right? So they're out of supply. We had 2 other divisions out in the west, which wasn't too much of a problem. But these were our core divisions that were driving and attacking Huy. So we had to bring the 9th Panzer, and they did a great job. They're pretty much full strength, recently arrived, and were key. They're not as strong as those SS Panzer divisions. You can see here 776 versus a 556. We used the Tigers as well. But in fact, the final combat was a firefight +1 result. I used the Tigers. So firefight, here we go. I think it was like a firefight +1. I think this may have been the result here. I used the Tigers, which are elite tank units. And I think I got a DR2 result. So the Americans tried to make a determined defense. The unit there was green. They subtract 4 I don't know what the restrictions of 15.1 are, but they rolled a 4. Yep, that's. I think I did all that legally. So that whatever they rolled, it was a, what did they get? A net -3. I think they got a no. I think they rolled a 6 from memory, and a no result. So they did have to retreat, and the Germans advanced. Now the Americans got a chance to to counterattack, with not much, attacking across the Meuse River. And they also tried to break out from here, but they couldn't quite capture Uffay. That would have given them, it would have saved them probably a turn if they could have captured that. You can see the Americans right on the outskirts there. Couldn't quite get into Uffay to capture it, deny the Germans that one victory point they needed. This is a one-step isolated. Oh, actually, they were hard. I miscalculated that combat as well, because I don't think I halved their attack factor. Yeah, would have been much less. They would have failed that. So good thing that failed anyway. But look, looking over the last few turns, it was all focused around here. Attacks across the Meuse, counterattacks. You can see the American 2nd Armoured is really driving hard down here. They're trying to push the Germans away from this area. Look, in hindsight, should they have driven down this road? Probably, but I really didn't think, the last 2 turns, I didn't think Huy would fall. The Americans were putting up such a stiff defence here, and they had so much support that I thought, I'm going to be able to recapture, I'm going to smash through these German lines. You can see these were broken. So I thought, I'm going to smash through here, break the German lines, recapture Chiny, and then potentially push on through to Rochefort and Marche and Famenne, and Huy wouldn't have mattered. So I took the gamble with this southeastern drive. Right, this is south, this is east. So I took this gamble as southeastern drive, which didn't pay off. But in the process, I mean, we got some DR4 results. We were very close. Yeah. So over here, this became a bit of a sideshow. You do have some elements of 80th and 10th Armoured pushing through. You can see they got a DR4 result here. Almost breaking back through to Bastogne, but Germans just putting up enough of a stone wall to stop them. Look, this is a fascinating game. I love Ardennes 44. It's one of my favourites. I love the road network. I love the terrain. I love the decisions you're making. Brilliant. If you have not played this, please check it out. And thanks all for watching, and take care.